let's start with functions. Okay. So, any idea about functions? Anyone, did you use it before? There is a purpose of using it normally. We use functions.
Write the function at the first of the program and calling the function wherever we want. Yeah.
But what is the purpose of doing that?
Like external CSS, we write the function at the starting of the program, and then wherever we need, we call the function.
Yeah, that is.
Set multiple statements we can write in a single method, and it will return as a output as a single line.
Yeah, basically that all things we do for the code reusability. Okay. We do use functions for the purpose of code reusability. Okay. So, let's start with that first. I'll write something here, then I'll show the example. So if at all you're doing some task which you are repeating many times, instead of repeating that, you can just create a function for the same. Maybe you can put some block of statements. What is the purpose of function? Basically, it will use to contain or hold some block of code or block of statements. You can call either way. And you can create functions in many ways. You can pass some parameters to the function. You can process something and you can return the result. So many ways we use function, but basic usage of function is code reusability. That is the purpose of using this functions. So now there are variations to use function with parameters, function without parameters, function with which will return something, functions which will not return something. So while working with that, we'll see all the variations. I'll close these two. Copy, paste, rename it to functions. Okay, this one, this, just into function example.js. Here, I'll just connect this file here. Example functions. So, see, there are many variations we create function, like function without any parameters. First variation. Okay, I'll explain this first, then I'll see the rest of the one. Without using ES6 syntax, if you want to just declare any function, we use the keyword called function. Okay, to declare a function. Then here you can give any name to the function, but not any name. Actually, you cannot use keywords as a name of the function. Just give any meaningful name. So here I'm creating a function whose name is message. And here I may do simple console.log. Like this. So you can use normal double quote or single quote. Even you can use template literals. Always best practice is to go ahead with template literals from now on, because with React we use this template literals a lot. But if I connected this, I connected this. Now if I open it, if I see the console, do you see the console log here? Whatever I have here, do you see it?
No.
The reason is, declaring function alone is not enough. You have to invoke the function, see, like this. Now see what will happen. The function will be invoked. Whatever code you put inside that, you will be able to see. If at all you have console logs, you will be able to see them like this. So actual function which you declare without ES6 way. If it is normal function, you should use the function keyword, and this represents the scope of the function. Whatever you write inside this curly braces set, that will be belonging to scope of this function only. So to execute the function, you have to invoke the function like this: name of the function, the bracket notation, and semicolon is optional. JavaScript is not strictly typed like Java, so even if you miss semicolon, make sure you invoke the function like this. So this is the simple way without any parameters. Now what I mean by parameters, as of now I'm not doing any calculation, so I'm not using any variables, or even I'm not passing any parameters. I'll come back to that. But one more variation you can do: this entire function you declare, you can store it in a variable, means you can assign it in a variable. That way of using function is called as function expression. Okay, so what is, as I said, I'll be showing you different ways you can declare a function. First way, without any parameters. Second way, either way you should invoke the function. But here one thing, you're not directly invoking the function. You will be storing it in a variable. So that variable is what you will be using with this notation to invoke it. So when you call this way, if function is stored, I should say like this, assigned, if function is assigned to variable, then that is called as function expression. Okay, now what I do, I'll declare a variable. Inside of this variable, I will create a function. Now see, I don't need to give any name to the function. This will be the name of my function. So this way of declaring is what called as function expression. See, now if I want to invoke this function, as it does not have any name, what I'll be using to invoke, obviously this variable name. So because see, instead of doing like this, I'm storing it in a variable. That entire concept is what functional expression. What if I put some console.log here, say some console log. Now how I invoke it? Using this name of my variable. So you'll be able to see it. So this is just another way. Like, actually, when we work with React, we will be creating functional components. At that time, we do this way. Actually, we use arrow functions as well, but just for your information. Now another variation, function with parameters. Okay, now why this is not why I haven't used this before, why I'm using it now. Just take this example. I have a function called add, just call it as add. Then I create this function. If I declare some variables inside, then I do log that values to console by adding like this, and I just invoke this function here. See, you got the result. One more thing, you can invoke the function as many required times. It's not like you should invoke it only once. I have invoked it around 4 times, but actually I'm not yet passed any parameters. What is the disadvantage of doing this way? See, I'm invoking this function 4 times, but all the time isn't it calculating the same value, means the value which I stored. This is the static way, right? How to make it dynamic? Now what I mean by dynamic, every time I call this function, I don't want to use the same values again and again. I want to use different values. That is where this parameters way is more helpful. So here, instead of doing like this, I comment this out and I copy this code And what I do, I don't declare them here. I just pass them like this, like two variables. And why NaN is when I pass some parameters to function, it is expecting me to pass it when I actually invoke it. Okay. So